How to get a business loan without a personal guarantee lightning fast. Hi, welcome in. My name is Michael from Viral Funding Solutions. And in this video, I'm going to comprehensively show you which programs, which options are on the table that don't require a personal guarantee, even a credit check. And you can just go into it with an EIN number. But before I get started, if this is the first time you're watching me, I do come out with content like this on all types of business loans / cash advances, building business credit, many more services and different opportunities for you to take advantage of. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you don't miss any future videos I come out with. Now, let's get right into this. This is a concern of many people, and it might be weighing heavily on your own mind. And it happened to me, so I know the shoes you're in. I know how you're probably feeling like, well, I don't want to have to give up any assets or, like a home, a car, cash. And that's what a personal guarantee is. If you were unsure of that, it's where you are liable if you can't pay back the unsecured debt or hash the cash advance / business loan, right? So it gives the lenders that cushion and that guarantee that they can get their money back, or in a way they can seize your personal assets. And this is a very common thing. I want you to get this fully in your head after you leave this video, or in the time that I'm making this. Everything, like you're talking about, like over 99.99% of the time, you're required to have a personal guarantee, no matter what. Unsecured business term loans, and there may be some out there where they don't, but it's very rarely. And the only way you'd get that is if you have like the right type of history with credit, your revenue, how it's doing now, the projections, what it's looked like also in the past, and many more other details they have to go through. But even at that, it's not always a given, even with secured business term loans. The thing is, you want something where you don't have to, give up an asset. And this is how it works online. When you go to this alternative lending space, does not matter what type of loan you go for the most part, you're going to be required to sign a personal guarantee agreement in the contract. And that's natural. It's standard. Don't feel down. Don't feel like somebody else has it better than you do. Everybody else just has about the same thing you're going through. And you have to understand, does this funding that I'm going to get make sense for me to take? And can I make those repayments? Does the benefit exceed the repayment? It doesn't matter if it's a daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly payment. The truth is your business sound enough? Is there enough structure? Is it stable? Can it be on an increase? And if you can say no to those things, then it really won't make sense. And this is why you're in this predicament at the moment. Maybe there are other issues that arise too, where you can't take a personal guarantee because maybe you just have an EIN and you don't have a certain entity like an LLC or S Corp or C Corp, which I highly recommend you get. And if you want to understand how to get all this and how to build business credit along the way, look for my content that I'll leave down below in the description if you're in that realm of trying to build business credits from the ground up. But what you need to know is, even without a credit check, like, where can you find that? There are programs out there, but they won't be direct lenders. They won't be private lenders. They're going to be within other companies, which I'm going to show you right now. So let me get right into this. So one company you can go to is PayPal Working Capital. I've made a video for this. I won't go too specifically in it in this video, so look down below in the description. But they require no credit checks and no personal guarantee. So the only thing you have to be worried about is, do you have any kind of history with PayPal? Have you been making sales through them? And have you been collecting payments? Or how does that work? Do you have an account even set up? What kind of history? And if you don't have any of that, it'll be very difficult to get approved for what you want. So let's say, for example, you wanted $30,000 of a loan. So you come to PayPal Working Capital thinking you can get it because you just heard there are no personal guarantees and no credit checks, funding in minutes, one affordable fixed fee, and then you get flexible payments. Great. But bottom line is, will you get what you want? That may be a no. So does it even make sense? And the thing is, with PayPal Working Capital, it can be even more expensive. The payday, how you're paying back. And I'm not going to do the math in this video. Make sure to refer to the other one that I said down below in the description to see a thorough review of them and my recommendations. But this is one way to go. With PayPal Working Capital, if you have history, more history earns you more funding, but you just have to take into account everything else that comes into this. And you can just get in there and apply if you have an account, and you can see your offers in the back screen, in the dashboard. So that's one way to go. Another one is with Fundbox, their line of credit program. And Fundbox is a great company. For an LOC or a line of credit, it's where you get a funding amount. Let's say you get approved for 100,000, but you don't want to use all of that at once. So let's say I have a season or I have a certain emergency or some type of a cash flow necessity where I want to use 10,000 of that. So I take that 10K out and I only pay interest on what I just took out, the 10K. And they give you a short amount of time, maybe to 6 to 12 months, maybe more or less, but you got to pay it back. And as opposed to being a lump sum, as in when you're getting working capital, you can do this. You can get approved for a certain amount and take a little bit out whenever you need to. And then once you pay it off, that money can go back into the account and you reset the 100K. So it doesn't go from 100K to just 90K when you pay back. It can replenish back to 100K. And the thing is, it may not offer a personal guarantee up front, but as you, let's say you want a limit increase, if you want that, then you may be asked to sign a personal guarantee, or it might have to already change where you have to do a personal guarantee from the very get-go. But that is up to you, each to their own, and credit checks are there. You have to know that you have to have the business entity. Usually we look for LLC, S Corp, C Corps, and that's just a very common thing you have to have nowadays with any type of funding program you go to. It's not just Fundbox. There are other companies out there like StreetShare. I think I have it open over here, but StreetShare is a different solution for business funding. It's quite different. Let me see over here. I'm trying to scroll. But it's a financial technology company powering community banks and credit unions with next generation technology to serve the full suite of banking needs of U.S. small business owners. So it's a little bit different. It's built by bankers for bankers, as you can see there. So you may qualify for that in that regard. It's taking a second here to load the screen. I have so many tabs opened. And I saw this happening before, but I really wanted to make the point across with having these tabs, and you'll see why in a second. Give it a moment to load here. Please excuse me for that. There we go. 1 second. And also let me know in the comment section down below, have you ever gone funding? What problems are coming up? I've dealt with so many people who say they want a certain amount of funding, and then when they get through the underwriting process and they get an offer through the lenders, what they can give them too, they don't get what they ask for. And it's a lot of times because of your credit score. It can be the revenue dips. It can be, yeah, you know, there's been a lot of people who would say they've had like 90K months, but then when we bring it up, it may say they had a month like that. And then the other ones are like 30 to 20, 30 to 40K. And that may just stunt your amount that you can get funding for. And I speak with my underwriters and I speak with these lenders, so I know exactly what they're looking for. And I've seen these files a lot of the time. So what I always recommend is if you don't get what you want, especially with working capital in a lump sum, you take what you get. And if you feel like what you're taking is going to help it and it's going to be worth the benefit, it exceeds the repayment, you do. And then what you can get is the rest of it later on. So do that, pay it back, get the rest of it to use what you need for expansion, whatever purposes that is. But that's how this works, because a lot of the times you won't get approved for the funding you can get. And if you're looking for those monthly terms, I made a video on this. Make sure to look down below in the description. You won't always qualify. And if you do, it doesn't make sense to take it and you won't get what you want. And this is just how it works. And I also show the benefits of daily, weekly / bi-weekly payments. So sales and marketing engine, small business owner hub and application decision and analytics, and 10 small business lending. But minute borrower applications and stuff like this. But this is just another solution. It's not really going to be for everybody, but PayPal is one, Fundbox is the other one. And so those two, along with the StreetShare one, but that's what you can expect. Now, the thing, like I said, you can't always not get a personal guarantee. But what if you got a personal guarantee with a soft pull credit check that doesn't affect your credit score, unless later on in the process we have to tell you, hey, we need to do a hard pull for some reason? And what if you could just apply with your EIN number? Then I recommend you go through a company like David Allen Capital Link, where you can get up to $2 million incredibly fast funding and even up to $25,000 same-day instant approval service with their Bank Breezy program. Now, how can you apply without an EIN number? Maybe you've heard of this program already. Maybe you've gotten funding through them. Great. Maybe you are in the application process. Maybe you are waiting to hear an offer back. And I have so many people at the moment. And like I said, again, if you do not get what you requested, there are more reasons why that is. And I can communicate it with you, but don't be upset when you're given an offer. You're like, well, I expected 60,000, but I only got offered 30,000. What's going on? Like I've been doing the revenue, I've been doing this in time. My FICO is where it needs to be. It's like a 650 plus. I mean, isn't that good enough? The 650, it can be good, but we have a criteria we got to meet. Oh, you don't have the time in business? Well, you have a FICO score. Maybe we have to shift this around. So you have to be open to these things. This is just going to happen everywhere. And what I prefer to David Allen Capital as opposed to like a Fundbox and a line of credit is you can get approved for more. There's a lot of room for it if you have the right credentials. If the business line of credit, you might not get as much as you wanted. Yeah, you can withdraw whenever you want, but with a lump sum of working capital, you can use that. You need all of that right now. This is a great thing to do. Now, you can get up to 2 million. And we won't require you to have any EIN as long as you're doing at least 15K plus, 20,000 plus, preferably per month within each of the last 3 months. That's the thing. That's not even a catch. That's what you got to be doing. You just require a personal credit score of 500 plus, very poor. A business can reside anywhere in the US, only need a minimum of 4 months in business. Over 700 industries have been served. So if you don't reside in the US, I've been speaking to a few people at the moment, and I have done this for a while now. We have people from Puerto Rico who are requesting loans, and no, at the moment, this is US. We're not including Puerto Rico. Maybe that'll change and it'll be different, but no. And the thing is, if you want anything to do, if you're in Puerto Rico, then I recommend a company like GoKapital. And if you know this already, I've already spoken to you. But they do accept Canada, Puerto Rico, okay, in all 50 states, and it also depends on the type of business loan we're looking at. But you can get a revenue-based / merchant cash advance. That's what we'll look at. And it's not always going to be, I get these monthly payments. No, it's what you can get approved for. And if it makes sense, if you got approved, it wouldn't make sense to always take that type of funding, and then you get the added interest rates. So look for GoKapital down below in the description. Also look for David Allen Capital as well. I recommend those two amongst more companies to go through if you need help getting funding. And if you need to understand how to get business credit built and all of that and all these solutions, make sure to look down there. Another company, and I'm not sure the legitimacy of this company, but it's Financing Solutions, which they do a business line of credit similar to Funbox, but I do Funbox. But that's another one on the table. So look for those options. I want to just run through my content here to make sure. Yeah, so if you wanted a best no personal guarantee business credit card, there's some here with SVB Innovation Card, Brex Corporate Card, Sam's Club Business MasterCard, Office Depot, Office Max Business Credit Card, and there have been more of them out there. But if you're thinking about that as well, make sure to look for that content. I'll leave some of that information down below. But we just went over everything in this video. How do you get a business loan without a personal guarantee? Really? You just have to face it. You got to do it. And there might be some reasons you can't take a personal guarantee and you don't want a credit check, but that's the standard set on this. You either have to shift your business to meet those standards, or you don't get any type of funding at all, or you go with some of these companies like PayPal Working Capital. You have Fundbox, something like Street Shares. You have the company that let me go over here, Financial Solutions again, but I don't know the whole legitimacy of it. I just know that they can give you that, but Funbox is similar. And just be aware, you can also get business credit through no personal guarantees, but for the most part, that's what's required. We want the lenders want to make sure that you can pay back the advanced loan. And what way is it for them to guarantee you'll do that? They don't know for a fact. They can base it off of everything on your business, but the benefit at least is you don't have to put any kind of collateral up front. The qualifications are less. If it's a credit check, for the most part, it's usually a soft pull, which we do here with David Allen Capital. And you just have to face the truth and make sure you go through it. And if we're talking about eligibility as in terms of an LLC, S Corp, the entity type, for the most part, LLCs, S Corp, C Corps, but with David Allen Capital, we do Want to see you have that. If you're doing the up to 25K program up here with Bank Breezy, make sure you have those entities. No sole proprietors, and that may change. There have been times where we can accept with an EIN number, but most people don't have a business checking account and they don't have online banking set up with a few other details in there. But if you want to do it without an EIN, apply for their up to 2 million and you have the at least 15K or 20K plus per month in revenue, then you may be able to bypass that for the time being. But again, look for these videos down below in the description to get started, get your application in. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Oh, and one last thing too, with the GoKapital side, minimum credit score for the revenue-based loan merchant cash advances, none. Although we would like to see at least a 500, but there's that flexibility. But if we're looking at it in terms of a merchant cash advance between them and David Allen Capital, I would strongly recommend somebody like DAC if you can qualify, because they're not a traditional MCA where they take a future percentage of your credit card receivables and even debit card sales. We don't look through any of that. The terms don't fluctuate. You know what you're getting, and it's 50% less expensive. And we don't pull those things. We don't take a future percentage. So again, look for this content down below, and I hope this information was helpful to you. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss any future videos I will be coming out with. Thank you. Bye.